Yo, 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 what's going on, faithful? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. We are here to talk about the rumors, man. There's a lot of rumors because nothing official has happened yet. So we're going to break all that stuff down. My man Nick is here. My man Tony is going to be popping in here eventually. But before we get down to the nitty gritty, I have to go through the formalities. We want to thank you guys. We're sorry for the hiatus. We've been working on a lot of stuff to give you guys. So we are back, ready to do this thing on a regular, consistent basis, man. I'm excited about it, guys. So listen, the formalities. Hit up the website, guys, www.nothingbutniners.com. That is our central location for everything. The articles are there, a bunch of good articles by a bunch of good writers. The podcast is there. We work hard to bring you guys good podcasts. Some original content is there, as well as some of these videos. If you guys don't have the time to sit there and hold your phone and watch a long video, we convert it to a podcast for you. So you guys make sure you check that out also. All right, guys. Hit the subscribe button when you go to the podcast sites, okay? Whether you listen on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Google Play, SoundCloud, wherever it is that you're listening to it, guys, we are there. Look for NB Niners or look for Nothing But Niners. Look for 49ers. We're going to pop up in that feed, okay? Subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, show some love, okay? Other things that you want to check out on the website are our social media handles. We have Twitter and Snapchat. Those are Nothing But Niners, or Nothing But 9ERS. And then you also can hit us up at Nothing But Niners on Facebook as well as Instagram, all right? I am here. My name is 49ers Mike _NF. That is my Twitter handle. My man Nick is here. 49er 365. 49er faithful 36. I'm gonna get it right at the end of the show. You watch. Nick, what's going on, baby? How you doing?
What's going on, Mikey? Yeah, man. Just make sure everybody gives us a follow on all of our avenues. Like Mike said, we've been changing a lot of stuff over to podcast. Make sure you go over there, check out our iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, whatever. Make sure you leave us a review. And, if you want to give us 5 stars, give us 5 stars, but just give us a rating.
Tell them about this YouTube thing too, man. I left that out so you can knock that out the park.
What we're doing right now?
Yeah, no, just the YouTube. I didn't promote the YouTube page. Tell them to subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, check us out on YouTube. Nothing But Niners. You just got to you can put NB Niners, Nothing But Niners, NBN, I think it comes up as too. But yeah, check us out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I think we're at 4,000 subscribers now, Mike.
Yeah,
seems like just yesterday we hit 3,000.
Jumped over that 4,000 with a bang, man, and we're gonna knock this thing out. I'm gonna try to. I want us to get up to almost 6,000 before the season starts. That's my goal. So we'll see what happens with it. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's feasible, but I'm gonna damn sure try.
Maybe if we hit 5K, I got a nice extra large Jimmy Garoppolo Throwback 94 jersey. Maybe we'll give that away.
All right, Jimmy Garoppolo Throwback. I like that. Speaking of throwbacks, man, I see you with some swag over there, man. Yeah. The shadow game is strong today. You got your young on. I got my young on. What's up, man? Like we killing them with the young boys.
We definitely got the 2 young boys. The 2 youngs were like iconic for me when I guess Bryant and Steve were the man.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
I seen you throw the old one on. I was like, oh, I got to go back to a couple years too.
Had to go dig the shadow bag out, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like you see the shadow now. You can tell mine is a little different. I got the Reebok joint on. Reebok did their colors like it was more of a maroon thing. The Nikes are the red ones, but it's all good, man. When you go out and you get these, this is one that I rarely wear. I think this is probably, since we've been doing this is probably the second time I've worn this. I don't even know if I wore it on the show before. I try not to wear it. This is one of those. This was a gift. This was a very.
I might have to throw on my Jerry Rice reversible one night. The Reebok John.
I don't even think I've seen that.
It's the maroon on the one side, and you flip it on the other side, and it's gold.
Shut the hell up. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. All right, man. So we've done enough stalling, man. Tony will pop in whenever he pops in, but there's some changes that are coming on with the 49ers, man, and we're here to talk about it. Now, again, guys, everything is rumored. You guys know that we love to bring you guys the breaking news as soon as it happens. As soon as things are officially announced with the team, you guys get the breaking news video in less than an hour. That's just how we get down over here at Nothing But Niners, all right? The problem is this. Nothing has been officially announced by the team. There are 3 hires that have happened that we've heard of, but the team hasn't officially announced anything yet. The head coach has even acknowledged it at Radio Row during the Super Bowl press run. He acknowledged one of the additions, and 2 of the other additions are very similar as far as what they're going to be doing with the team, but that happened since the Super Bowl. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it means. And we're going to answer some questions, man. You guys sent in some really good questions on Twitter. We're going to talk about all of that stuff. So, Nick, where do you want to start, man? You want to start with what the coach confirmed? I mean, you want to start with the Rick Moranis lookalike?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Bro,
yo.
Tell me he don't look like Rick Moranis a little bit. Come
Bro,
on, man.
He literally looks like he was in the attic messing with an object and shrunk his own kids.
Oh man, I love it. I love it, man. Break it down for us, man. So let's talk about Shane Day, man. He's going to be the offensive line assistant. So what is he going to be doing here, Nick? Do you know anything about him? What's his history? I mean, should we be excited about this or what?
I mean, I didn't really do much on him. From what I hear, he's a decent upgrade. But like I said, I don't really get into a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I mean, a couple of the other hires I'm a little excited about just because I know more about them as players. But I don't dig into coaches like that really until, basically until the team makes it official, because like you said, we go back to the days where, Westbrook was supposed to sign somewhere, or not Westbrook, Gore was supposed to sign it in Philadelphia, and it was unofficial, and then decided and changed his mind and went to Miami. Whatchamacallit, going to the coach the Colts, right?
Yeah. Josh McDaniels from the Patriots agreed to go to the Colts. They started firing their staff and everything. They were letting people go. They were starting to get the new staff together and everything. And he was like, you know what?
Nah, not for me. I'm going back to Belichick.
I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing. And 2 rings later, he's over there looking like he knew exactly what he was doing, man. It's wild, man. It's wild. So I get you. I understand not wanting to jump into it, but this is one of the coaches that we heard Shanahan acknowledge on Radio Row. This is Shane Day. So he's got a little bit of history here. He's coming here to be the offensive line assistant, I believe, right? Is he going to be the offensive line assistant for the 49ers? Is that what it is, Tony? What's up, man? I see you over there. What's up, baby? I'm looking at his resume. I said offensive line assistant. That's what he was doing for the Redskins. But what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Good. You? Nick, what's up?
What's going on?
Were you talking about Day?
Yeah, he's gonna be the quarterback's coach.
Yeah, Day's coming in as a quarterback's coach. He was previously a tight ends coach with Miami.
Yeah, tight ends coach with Miami, offensive line assistant for the Redskins, quarterback's coach for the Chicago Bears during the Jay Cutler days. So he's an offensive mind. He's an offensive mind. Now, here's the thing. So we lost our quarterback's coach because I'm going to say on the back of Nick Mullins. I'm not putting any credit of this on CJ Beathard. Some of you guys might argue that, we lost him because of what he did with Jimmy Garoppolo at the end of the last season. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. If you had to credit our previous quarterback's coach's success to somebody, which one of these 3 guys are you giving it to? You giving it to Jimmy Garoppolo, you giving it to CJ Beathard, or you giving it to Nick Mullins, or is it a culmination of all 3? Don't all jump at once, guys.
I think it's a combination of 2. I think it's a combination of Mullins, and I think it's a combination of Garoppolo. Garoppolo clearly he was traded over, I think it was Halloween last year, or the night before Halloween, from New England to San Francisco for a second-round pick, and clearly had no knowledge whatsoever of Kyle's system. So they sat him, which was a smart thing. They sat him. They got him up to speed, I think maybe for 4 weeks. And he came in, balled out, won 5 straight. It's a little more impressive with Nick Mullins because you're talking about a undrafted free agent who did have talent in college at Southern Miss, broke Brett Favre's records. But I think he did a better job with Mullins because Mullins, like I just said, was an undrafted free agent coming into the league and had no experience in any NFL-style offense or like the game speed of the NFL. And he did pretty well. I mean, he didn't take us to the playoffs. He didn't win 5 in a row like Garoppolo. But, I mean, it was pretty impressive what he did. As far as C.J. Beathard, I mean, C.J. Beathard's problem was he just held onto the ball way too long. And that's why he struggled. Yeah, that's all I got on that.
All right, so Tony's giving it to Garoppolo and Mullins. Nick, what are your thoughts on that, man?
I was gonna say the same thing. More so Mullins. Like Tony was saying, he was on a undrafted free agent. Has a lot of talent, put up a lot of good numbers in college. But from him being on the practice squad, not getting a lot of snaps, with the regular team, to be able to come out and implement the offense like he did, even though he didn't win every single game, he still played pretty damn well, and created a more of a competition for that backup squad in San Francisco next year. So, but I do give it to I do give Rich Scangarello. Is that how you say it? Scangarello. Credit with Jimmy Garoppolo because of the fact that he stayed, after hours, getting Jimmy Garoppolo up to speed with the playbook, watching film. It was constantly being said that Jimmy is like never leaves Rich's side, along with Kyle Shanahan. So I give him the credit for Jimmy Garoppolo too. CJ, I don't think it was anything to do with Rich. I think it's just his play style. He just doesn't look comfortable in this system at all. But you also got to remember, he came from a college that didn't really throw the ball at that time. Now that he has left, they have whatchamacallit throwing the ball there, and they got two number one tight ends over there in Iowa. But it makes you go back and look, was Iowa only running the ball so much because of CJ Beathard being there? So, Rich not being able to transform him, CJ is up and down. So I can't really give Rich any credit or discredit him because I think it was more of a skill set, learning wise, on CJ than it was Garoppolo and Mullins.
Beathard has got to be like 1-9 or something like that as a 49er starter, and he was just bad. If I had to credit somebody, I would give more credit to Mullins. I think that people saw what Jimmy Garoppolo did at the end of last season and never thought about the quarterback's coach. They thought this guy was ready and trained well in New England, and he's got the skill set. I think that's what everyone credited. So you fast forward to this year, in my opinion, Garoppolo's play took a step back. Overthinking, holding on to the ball a little bit too long. CJ Beathard came in and continued to do the same. Then you see Nick Mullins come in, quicker release, more decisive with the ball, and that's what I'm going to credit the success of Rich Scangarello to. So we have Shane Day coming in here, guys. This guy's been bouncing all over the NFL and all over the offensive side of the ball. I haven't seen anything defensive on his resume. He's even been doing work in college. We don't have a lot to share about him. Just going to be one of those, all right, well, we hope he's successful, He does have a history with the 49ers. He was here with the 49ers, I believe, from 2007 to 2009. Let me double check that. That is correct. 2007, 2009. He served as the 49ers as quality control coach for 3 seasons. Those 2007, 8, and 9. And that was under the offensive coordinator, Mike Martz. So he's here. He's doing that, and that's going to be our transition note right there. The offensive.
Yeah. If you want to check out that, I did write an article on Shane Day on nothingbutniners.com. So if you want to check that out, it has all of his back history and stuff like that. So if you want to check that out, it's on there.
Absolutely, you guys make sure you hit that up. Nothingbutniners.com. Look at the article; it's boom right there. Now he was the offensive quality control coach for 3 years here. We just hired reportedly another offensive quality control coach. All right. So Tony, you want to take that away, break down who that is and your thoughts on the hire, and then we'll give it to Nick.
We allegedly agreed to terms with Miles Austin, the former Dallas Cowboy, Philadelphia Eagle, and Cleveland Brown wide receiver. Graduated from the University of Monmouth in New Jersey. I know Mike likes that. Clearly, Shanahan has something up his sleeve. You have 2 guys that are his top 2 lieutenants, in McDaniel and LaFleur. And I think we could all agree that I think LaFleur might have been a little over his head this season with trying to work with wide receivers and come up with the passing game offense with Shanahan, like game planning and stuff like that. So Kyle went out and agreed to terms with Miles Austin, a very productive player, torched us a couple times. One game in San Francisco, one game in Dallas, put up, I think, 2 scores or 3 scores on us. But clearly specializes as a possession receiver and will be working with all the players that will be lining up as the Z wide receiver in Kyle's offense. Played under Kyle in Cleveland, had it was towards the end of his career. I don't have the stats in front of me. I just got home from work. But he has scheme familiarity. And with the next hire we're going to go into, I just want to stay with this guy because I don't want to go into the next one. Kyle is attacking the different spots on his offense by who he's bringing in. And Miles Austin will address the Z spot, which we do need work on. He was a good route runner. He caught with his hands, wasn't a body catcher. So I like the hire. But this is also, Kyle also has this up his sleeve where, listen, future. Maybe those two get plucked for a head coaching job or something, or become an assistant head coach and get pulled from us. He's grooming these guys. Now, all these coaches that he's bringing in that we already mentioned today, now we're talking about Miles Austin, limited coaching experience. And, this guy and the next guy we're going to address, Austin and the next guy, limited to none coaching experience. If we had a defensive head coach like Ron Rivera, Vic Fangio, someone to that order, I would be concerned. But being that we do have an offensive head coach like Kyle Shanahan, he's going to groom these guys in his system. So now he's loading his staff with young talent. So when they move on, he pulls from the bottom, and now we don't miss a beat.
Good breakdown there, man. I like that. And you didn't take my talking points. Now let's see if Nick does it. Nick is infamous for it. So let's see if he takes my talking points, man. Nick, your thoughts on the reported hire of our offensive quality control coach in Miles Austin?
I mean, I like it because the 2 hires that we're going to talk about after Shane Day is they complement each other with this offense. I mean, they're 2 different total type of players. You're going to get one thing from one and one thing from another. And I don't really want to talk about what those are because we're not talking about the other guy yet. But in Miles Austin, you get like a bigger type of receiver who, type of guy who's going to probably teach and mend, mainly, I don't want to say receivers because he's going to be doing a lot with the offense. I'm assuming. I don't really know what the offensive, the position that he has actually does. I don't think anybody really knows. If you guys know exactly what it is, let me know because I don't know exactly what it entails because I guess it could change from every team. But I like to hire Miles Austin because of the fact that, A, he's a veteran. He's played the game before. And it seems like these players – it's kind of like the players react to John Lynch. He's played this game before. He's been there. He's done this. I think when players become coaches, there's more of a higher level of respect for the coach than there is a coach who never played before. And I don't want to say it's always like that, but I think they'll look at Miles Austin as a coach saying, yeah, I think he's only in his 30s. I don't think he's that old. I think he's like 34 maybe. But so he's a younger guy. You're building a actual coaching staff that can be together for the, remainder of his years. But I think what it does is it shows respect to the players that a player is coaching, as well as him being able to get what he was able to do on the football field out to these younger guys. We don't have a lot of vets on this team, as we all know. I think these coaches are acting as vets. Hopefully we pick up vets in free agency this year, but right now we don't have a lot of veteran presence on the team. So I think the coaching, hiring these coaches that have played the game is another step of getting vets in here and wanting to play for certain guys. So I think Miles Austin will be a good hire. I just want to see what he's going to be doing. I want to hear more of what he's doing because, like I said, I can't really talk on what I think he's going to do because I'm not really sure. And I don't know if either of you guys know either, and I'll wait till you start to talk, Mike. But other than that, I mean, I liked Miles Austin as a player. I think he'll bring a lot of energy to the team, as well as good coaching experience, like good player to coach personnel type of stuff. But I'm excited to see what he can do with the young guys.
All right. I'm going to talk on what the offensive quality control coach's position is usually and expound on that also. But as far as Miles Austin personally goes, you guys know how I am about my Jersey guys, headstrong guys, stuck in their ways. That's just how we breed them over here in Jersey, you know. So he's going to be a good guy. And you guys got to remember that when he was in Cleveland, so was Kyle Shanahan. So he's got that relationship there already. These guys have bumped heads together before. Kyle Shanahan is familiar with him and his study habits. The reason I mention study habits is because the quality control coaches, whether it's defensive, offensive, or even special teams, these quality control coaches, their job is to prepare the team for the upcoming games. And what they do is they're basically film junkies. They study the opposing team. So as the offensive quality control coach, your job is to study the opposing team's defense and help come up with a game plan and exploit weaknesses. When they line up in this formation, they usually do this. That's all you do. You don't tell the coach what plays to run. When they line up in this formation, they do this. When the safety drops down, they're usually doing this. It's the coaches, the play designers, the coordinators. They have to come up with the plays to counter it, but your job is to tell them what the opposing team usually does on the opposite side of the ball. And so this is typically an entry-level position in the NFL. And if you guys remember Robert Saleh's story, this is how he got his start in Seattle. He was there, or Seattle or Houston, I forget, but I know he did it for Seattle also, but he was somewhere else. Robert Saleh's only stop wasn't Houston. It was somewhere else. So.
Jacksonville, wasn't it?
Jacksonville. Yes, Jacksonville. Good call. But Robert Saleh was the defensive quality control coach in Seattle, and then I believe he was the linebackers coach in Jacksonville, and then he came up here as a defensive coordinator. But that's the entry level. When you get your first start in the NFL, that's basically where you're starting. And what they're doing is they're making you become a film junkie. You have to go in there and watch the tape. Don't think you're going to become a head coach and you've never watched film before. And so that's what they do. Miles Austin, I know we want him to work with the wide receivers and things like that. He is going to be in a room studying the opponents day in and day out and figuring out what it means when they do certain things. That excites me a lot because as a former player, as a former wide receiver, I assume that you already study the tendencies of a specific person who you're going to be lining up against. Now it's going to open it all the way up to the entire opposing defense and see what they can do and help out a lot more. And you know, when he was in Dallas with Tony Romo, he had some good seasons over there. He's a two-time Pro Bowl, 2009, 2010. He did his thing over there. And Nick, you were absolutely right. 34 years old. He'll be 35 in June, so the end of June. So you nailed it there with his age and everything. He's a very young guy. He's got the mind for it right now, and he's going to work his way up the charts. And that's something that Tony was speaking to. You want to bring in these young guys who haven't done it before. And as you lose other coordinators and things like that on your roster, you have other people waiting in the wings to move up the ladder and go with you. And so you can keep it together, and so to speak. You see Belichick do it year in and year out over there. The teams that are always at the top, the Steelers are always losing guys. The Packers are always losing guys. The Saints are always losing guys. And the way they keep it going is because they have younger guys waiting in the wings. So I like the Miles Austin hire. I don't know how good of a film junkie he is, but it's going to improve. It's going to improve. It's his first year doing it. And so I'm excited to see what it is. I think that Kyle Shanahan saw something in him that he liked in his days at Cleveland. He's kept his eyes on him. And now that Austin was interested in dipping his toes into the coaching pool, Kyle Shanahan wanted to be the first guy to pop that cherry, so to speak. I hope that didn't offend anybody. But yeah, so that's what it is. What's up, Tony? I see you want to jump in here.
Just one thing. It's also on the level of respect now. You have a proven NFL player who has played the game and was successful at the game. So now when he walks into a locker room and says, guys, listen, instead of doing it this way, let's try to do it this way. When when you run your route, when you break off your stem and you do a comeback, this is how you do it. It's going to gain respect rather than having just a LaFleur and a Katie Sowers in the room saying, guys, listen, do this, try this, that. This guy's played the game. That is what is huge about some of the people he's adding. We're going to get into the next guy whenever we decide to move on, but he played the game. He was successful. He was somewhat of a winner, not a Super Bowl champion, but he was a winner in my eyes because he was a very productive receiver at the NFL level, coming from the University of Monmouth as an undrafted free agent. So he's going to show these guys, listen, I started from the bottom. I broke my ass. I got myself here. This is my career. I'm telling you guys, listen, this is what it takes to be successful in this league. And he's going to open eyes in that room. When we move on to the next guy, I'll explain even more.
Well, we're going to do that right now. We're going to talk about it because I think the next guy is going to have a more hands-on relationship with the wide receiver. So we'll give it back to Tony. I know you wanted to jump on it, and we'll go to Nick again, and I'll bring up the rear. But go ahead, man. Break down the next potential rumored hire that the 49ers have made.
All right, so the next alleged hire as the new wide receiver coach of the San Francisco 49ers, the team brought on Wes Welker. About a week ago, came out that he, around just about the end of the Senior Bowl, there was a report, I think by Pro Football Talk, saying that Wes Welker interviewed with the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. So right away, I text Mike, Nick. I said, guys, look, this. And then it was silent. You didn't hear nothing about it. A couple days later, Green Bay made their move on their receiver coach. I said, Welker's coming to us. All right. We allegedly hired him. He is a winner. He played with a winning organization. He is a very productive NFL player. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes to win and to be successful in the NFL. I think 2, possibly 3 guys are going to benefit huge. And I know, Mike, you're not going to like this because the one guy you said wasn't even going to be on the roster last year. But Mini-Me is going to be the most successful out of this, in my opinion, and that's Trent Taylor, followed by James. And I even think he's going to teach Dante Pettis a couple tricks. He was a precise route runner. He caught with his hands. He was, I can't confirm, but he got so damn open, he had to be a film junkie because he knew exactly where to sit in the defense. Now, you pair him, even though what's his name is the quality control coach, Miles Austin, I think, honestly, they're going to work together. The brunt of it is going to be on Wes Welker because he is the wide receiver coach. But I can't see Kyle bringing in Miles Austin to help with the defensive backs. I see the two of them together working as the wide receiver coaches for this team. Route running is going to be a strength. Catching with your hands is going to be a strength with this team, and I think film study will be a huge factor with this group of receivers. Another thing, there is a possibility that you might see some New England principles as far as route running and concepts on this offense next year. So it diversifies Kyle's offense even wider. So now you can have the outside zone. You have the play action off the outside zone. And then he can spread you out and hit you with New England concepts. Something that Jimmy was familiar with playing in New England and something he was comfortable with, getting the ball out of his hand quick. I like the hire. And again, we'll trickle back to one thing. Either one of these two really have coaching roots. Welker was with Houston as an assistant. Denver tried to hire him last year, but was blocked. And Miles Austin, I think, was some type of scout or something, an assistant scout with Dallas. So I just think the two of them are going to help this receiver core immensely. And again, Kyle Shanahan is your head coach, which, by the way, was a college football wide receiver at the University of Texas. So he's going to pound it into these guys how he wants his system run. It's the same thing with Day, the same thing with Austin, the same thing with Welker. He's going to pound these guys with this system. This is how we run it. This is how I want it. And this is what I expect from you to teach these guys to be productive in this system. So the coaching background as far as experience, I'm not worried about because we have Kyle. So both guys are going to help us, I think, a lot. And I think they're two good hires. And again, like I said before, and you brought it up, and I think Nick as well, he's going to groom these guys. Because we went, 4-12 this year, or 5-, what was our record? I think 4-12 or 5-11, and people were plucking from our staff. So now if we win, what do you think is going to happen? They're not going to take from us?
All right. Nick, he said a lot, man. Let's see if you got anything to add to it. That's he gave it all to us, man. He didn't hold back. He talked about the coaching history and everything, man. What you got on the Wes Welker rumored hire?
Look, man, if this thing is true, I absolutely love this hire. For a couple of reasons. Welker is not somebody that was ever handed anything in his entire career. From started playing soccer, moved on to I watched a Wes Welker story on him the other night again. It's a really good one. So like the football life or whatever. Went to play little league football, was the best on his team, was a receiver, was a kick returner, was a punt returner, running back, played everything. But because of how little he was going, in high school, his coach wrote 150 applications, I think it was, to colleges saying, hey, signing day is such and such, and I think this kid should be signed somewhere. Signing day came and went. Wes Welker was never signed. Wes Welker started out, went to Texas Tech, I believe, which had a really good collegiate career. Moved on, went to San Diego, and he's like, yes, I made the team. And then the next day they cut him. Like, he ran 2 kickoffs back and was just not playing any wide receiver. And then they cut him. Then he came back to San Diego's practice squad. And then Miami came in and said, hey, we want to sign you for $10,000 more. Do you want to come? He went to Miami. We all know what he did for his career in Miami. He worked his way from Miami, went to New England, and only went to Denver after New England because New England just wanted to move on from him. They just, with the concussions and stuff like that. But Wes Welker is one of probably the best slot guys to ever come out of the NFL that I've ever watched. The guy is perfect for a Tom Brady, a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Kyle Shanahan type offense. Quick slants, get rid of the ball, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's going to help, like Tony said, I think it's really going to help Trent Taylor. I think it's really, really going to help Trent Taylor because it's going to give him, if Wes Welker's sitting down with Trent Taylor or, these wide receivers and watching, X, Y, and Z positions, he's going to give some tidbits. He's going to give some of his experience. And these guys are going to listen. It's not like some fluke guy. Like Wes Welker's coming in here. These guys are going to listen. Like, that's where I said that, the coaching respect because the player played the game. And especially Wes Welker, like Tony said, didn't win any Super Bowls. He actually had 2 big drops to win Super Bowls. Back-to-back Super Bowls, he dropped the ball. I think one was the NFC or AFC championship game, but you know what I mean. But his work ethic has always been tremendous in the NFL. I just think what he's going to bring to this team, barring even just the slot position, is totally going to. Trent Taylor should be back with a healthy back. I think that should help him along this year. Hiring somebody like Wes Welker for a Richie James or a Trent Taylor, even a Dante Pettis. Pretty much any of our receivers other than like Marquise Goodwin. Not that Marquise Goodwin can't run routes, but he's more of a I'm going to beat you and I'm going to go deep kind of guy. But he can run routes, so I'm not taking anything away from Marquise because I think he's a very good route runner. But learning from Wes Welker and what he's been through to get to where he was, and to be able to coach these guys and sit down with them one-on-one explain to them different types of setbacks and set downs and how to beat certain types of coverage, good foot movement, how to catch the ball with your hands, things like that. I just think it'll be a huge hire. I think it'll really, really excel our receivers. And I'm super stoked if we actually make this official.
I'm going to throw this to you guys. I'm going to do this in reverse really quick because it's going to be a part of my thoughts on Wes Welker. I want to go to Nick and then back to Tony really quick. If you had to pick one receiver that's going to benefit the most from the acquisition of Wes Welker, if and when it becomes official, what one receiver do you think it's going to be?
You want me to go first? All right. So I definitely think it's Trent Taylor. I really do think Trent Taylor is probably going to benefit the most. They're pretty much the same height, same type of athlete. We all you hear everywhere when you see this small white boy come out on the field, everybody's like, oh, he reminds you of Wes Welker. You hear it everywhere. But really, truthfully, there's only one Wes Welker. But Trent Taylor definitely does have, even Edelman, they're all the same. You know what I mean? Edelman, Taylor, Welker,
Amendola.
They're all the same. Small white boys that just love going across the middle and they don't care. But if I had to give one guy, I think the guy on this team that will remind you of the type of player that Wes Welker it's got to be Trent Taylor that'll benefit the most.
Interesting. All right, Tony, what do you think, man?
Excuse me. I agree with Nick, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Richie James because Trent Taylor I'm not saying he's as established as Wes Welker. He runs good routes, and he knows how to get open. He finds the holes in the zones. I think Richie James is raw as a route runner, and that's where I think Wes Welker could really help him to learn how to run a route properly, to learn how to find the spot in the zone, to learn how to make yourself open, to come off a curl and set yourself up and show your chest to give Garoppolo a target. So I think they help both, but if Richie James pays attention and learns and works hard, because you got to work hard to be successful in the NFL. It's not going to be handed to you. So I think if he really pays attention, I think he can benefit a lot from Wes Welker.
Very, very, very interesting. My answer is neither of those, believe it or not. And I understand where each of you are coming from. I know that, you see a Trent Taylor and you think of a Wes Welker, but I just feel like Trent Taylor. All right, so this is what I think about when I think someone's going to benefit from the acquisition of a coach, right? What can you teach me that I don't already know, and how can you improve my game, right? Trent Taylor's not the most physically gifted guy. Wes Welker can't teach him speed. He can't teach him to break tackles, right? Wes Welker himself has an average of 11 yards per reception. That's not mind-blowing. That's not he's not the guy that's going to beat you downfield or break a couple of tackles and burn you and anything like that. So he can't really elevate Trent Taylor's game. Trent Taylor, and this is just my opinion now, Trent Taylor's really good at finding the hole, boom, and making the turn, right? Richie James, he can help because Richie James has a lot of mental lapses, in my opinion. He can absolutely help Richie James. But I think that if you elevate the floor of all of our wide receivers, which I think Wes Welker will do, because as much as we want to focus on the slot, he's the wide receivers coach. He's going to work with everybody. I think the guy that's going to benefit the most, believe it or not, is going to be Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne had so many mental lapses this year. There were so many plays, big plays that were available for him where the ball bounced off of his hands because he was looking to run before he caught the ball. Or he was going across the middle and bracing for a hit. The ball bounced right off of his hands, and he didn't do anything with it. Imagine this. Kendrick Bourne has really good feet. He's got a nice size. He can catch the ball. Imagine Wes Welker just teaching him to look in every pass, right? Imagine him being able to teach him to Focus on the catch before anything else. Kendrick Bourne immediately has 12 more catches this season already. God knows how many more yards because of it. Probably another touchdown or two also. It just, I think that Kendrick Bourne is going to be the guy that gets the biggest bump up from the potential acquisition of a Wes Welker. And so that makes me, now I'm going to step away from that. And it's, what does Wes Welker bring to this team? What can he teach these guys to do that we really, really need? Why Wes Welker is the question that I'm asking myself. And it's pretty simple. Separation. We heard so much all season long when Jimmy was playing bad, when Mullins had a bad game, when Beathard had a bad game. It was, these guys aren't separating. The receivers weren't getting separation. Okay. All right. Now, I defended that a lot over the past season, but they hired a guy, potentially hired a guy that mastered separation in short, tight spaces too. And giving his quarterback, I think it was Nick that said it, giving the quarterback the front of your pad, the front of your numbers to a target to throw to. He wasn't just some guy that ran routes and then was looking over his shoulder. No, he was right here. Give it to me right here. If you can teach that to these guys, Pettis, Bourne, Taylor, Kittle even, Bourne, James, all these guys, they all benefit tremendously from that. Separation as soon as the play starts, not 5 or 6 yards down the field. As soon as the play starts, you hit your break or you teach them some footwork stuff, you elevate the floor of every player on this roster. This is a very, very exciting hire, man, because he's not going to teach these guys anything about speed, anything about being downfield, anything about bodying up somebody else. He was never that guy. He can't teach them that, but he can teach you to focus on catching the ball, knowing your play. We talked about this before in another video that we did, fellas, where we were talking about how we saw Nick Mullins yelling at someone on the sideline. You were supposed to do this, not that. That was the wrong thing. You know what I mean? You see wide receivers getting up saying, that's on me, that's on me. Eliminate that. Eliminate that. You know what I mean? That's what Wes Welker brings to the table. Mentally strong, catching the ball is your number one priority, not the yards. There's no yards after the catch if you can't catch the ball. I think Wes Welker can drive that home. You guys see the success. Nick said something that just blew my mind, and I was like, he's wrong. And I tried to look it up. He was damn right. Wes Welker doesn't have a single Super Bowl ring. That is crazy to me. That is absolutely insane, bro. He was with the Patriots from 2007 to 2012. And that was during the 10-year drought from 2005 to 2015 that they didn't win a ring. And then he went to Denver right after that from 2013 and the 2014 season, and they lost the Super Bowl that year. They won it the next.
Yeah, and the one against the Giants, they were set up for it would have gave him a first down to win the game, and he dropped the pass against in New England. The AFC Championship game, the year before that, he had a drop pass. Then the same thing happened in Denver. He had a drop pass. And then after that, they went and won the Super Bowl the next year. Or was it the next year or 2 years after? I think it was 2 years after, because that was the Super Bowl I went to when they played Denver, and they got their asses handed to them, like 44-10 or whatever it was.
The game he dropped the ball with New England, that was versus Baltimore, wasn't that? And
yeah.
They were supposed to play us.
Yeah, it was the AFC. It was the AFC Championship game
of 2012.
12, yeah.
Yep. Now, another thing that I like about this hire is that this screams to me Jimmy Garoppolo. Tony touched on it a little bit, talking about how this is going to be key for, we might see some of the New England Patriots style of plays and things like that implemented here. You bring in a Wes Welker who's going to teach these guys to be good, and I just touched on it in the short to intermediate routes. That is Jimmy Garoppolo's bread and butter. That is where Jimmy Garoppolo lives, and Wes Welker can teach that. They are planning on Jimmy Garoppolo coming back and taking the league by storm. It's damn exciting, man. It really is. So, guys, do either one of you want to touch any more on the hires here? Tony, since you're not on mute, anything else you want to say about the hires or the potential, the rumored hires?
I just like that these guys are hard workers. and they know what it takes to be successful. And like you touched on, there was a lot of mess ups. Our passing game, our routes were not crisp. People were messing up. Like you said, you saw Mullins this way instead of that way. I think that's all going to be gone this year because now you have potentially, definitely one guy if he's hired, but potentially a second guy in Miles Austin that are going to be working with this group. And both veterans, both played, both broke their asses to get to where they were. And in my eyes, that earns my respect. So I like it. Hopefully everything gets finalized. And again, listen, Shanahan's our head coach. That's it.
Yep. Nick, anything else on the potential hires, the rumored hires here?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't want to sit here and say that, you know, all these busted routes and stuff like that were on because of talent, because it definitely wasn't. Like Kendrick Bourne has a lot of talent. Like you said, I think he needs to hit it a little bit better. You know, because I went back and I'm on week 7 now. I think I'm watching like the whole season all over again of us, and there was like a couple games that he had really good games, and there was a couple games where it was like he would catch a really, really hard pass and then drop a really, really easy pass for in a crucial situation. And like you said, where Mullins was yelling at receivers, I think that just all comes down to youth, like just burying yourself in playbook and learning and things like that. I mean, I think the addition of Wes Welker will help with that, learning how to watch film, learning how to study film, learning the playbook even like in more in depth. And you know, Kyle Shanahan probably makes it harder on these guys because they have to know every position, like their receivers. So they're not just learning one specific position because there's been so many injuries that players are playing outside, inside, they're playing X, they're playing Y, they're playing Z. We've seen players all over the field. So I don't want to put it all, you know, not saying that anybody else did, but I don't want to don't want to put it on all talent because I think we have a talented group of wide receivers. I think it's just we're lacking that leadership role as in the receiving room. And Pierre Garçon is probably going to be going this year. And I hate to agree with you, but I think you were right where he was just checked out at the end of last year. Not this year that just ended, the year before, just kind of checked out for the year. He just didn't seem like the same old Pierre Garçon, you know, hype guy. So I think it'll be a good hire. I think it'll help out. And hopefully it's just, you know, everything just clicks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know you. I see what you're saying. I'm excited for it, man. I don't have anything else to add to it. I'm not going to touch on anymore. Let's get to some of these questions. I'm trying to wrap this thing up here. Now, I do want to say that there is a troll that was in the chat room. If you guys see David Geiger, that's one of my former co-workers, so ignore him. He's just in there busting chops and everything. So you guys ignore the DG guy that's in there, okay? But we had some questions from the Twitter people. And we're going to open this up to you guys who are watching now also. I personally am not going to comment on any kind of draft prospects. If the questions pop up and you guys want to touch on them, you can do that. I haven't gotten to my film study and stuff like that. So anything I say right now is going to be premature. I always wait till after free agency to start breaking down and really diving into the draft prospects. So I'm not going to do too much of those. But we got a lot of really good questions for our Ask NB Niners. So I want to get to it. Let's see here. Do you guys have one in particular that you want to start with, or do you want me to just grab a random one here, guys? Yeah, I
would just grab a random.
All right. Oh, I'm going to go to our likes because there was a lot of likes. All right. So the first one that I see here is from Ronald Moore. All right. And that's spelled wrong on purpose. It says simply keep Cassius Marsh with a question mark. We'll do this one. This will be a fun one. Nick, you can go first, Tony, and then I'll chime in afterwards.
I don't think you really need to get rid of him. We have the cap space. He has experience. He put up 5.5 sacks, I think, this year. He I mean, it depends on what you get in free agency. I mean, it really does. Because I mean, why get rid of him? He produced. He did 5.5 sacks this year. He didn't play all that bad. He's not costing you a crazy amount of money. And I thought that he had a better year this year than he did before. He got more playing time. So, I mean, I would keep him on the roster. If anything, it's competition to whoever we bring in as well as who we draft. And it's not costing us a lot. So keep him.
All right, Tony, man, your thoughts, man. Cassius Marsh, we bringing him back or what?
I mean, definitely I'd bring him back to go through training camp. The team does hold an option on him. I think it's a June 1st option where it's three and a half for $4 million. If they cut him, they get it all back. I do think the team will make a decision between him and Dakota Watson for a roster spot between the two of them. I also feel the team likes Marsh a little better on special teams. And your best availability is to be available, to be able to play. And Dakota Watson's been banged up last year, and Marsh hasn't. Marsh has played. He produced 5.5 sacks, and a lot of people love that karate kick shit he does. So I'd bring him back unless they, again, got to wait for free agency, got to wait for the draft, see what moves they made, and then they'll make the decision from there. But as of right now, in this particular moment where we stand, he's going to stay on the roster.
If I'm deciding between Cassius Marsh and someone like just another random free agent, I want someone new. I like Cassius Marsh, and I love that damn kick he does. I tried it the other day and almost broke something on myself, not in my house, like on me. Like something popped, and you got to relax a little bit. How he does that with cleats on and everything on the field, I will never understand. But anyway, I like him. I appreciate the production, the 5.5 sacks, and I do think that he can get more. But I don't know, man. I want something new, and it's gonna. I'm not gonna do one. If we brought him back, I wouldn't be mad though. So, but if it's me, I'm gonna let him go and just try to find somebody new. Even if we promote someone like a Peter. Do you guys think Peter would have been able to get 5.5 sacks this year if he took every rushing snap that Cassius Marsh got? Just a quick yes or no. Do you think that Peter? And we don't know. We don't know, but just a quick yes or no? You think Peter would have been able to get 5.5 sacks if he took every snap that Marsh took instead?
I'm going to say no, because what he showed while he played, he didn't get to the quarterback in the snaps that he played. Now, I mean, if he's getting more reps, you can't project it, but I'm just projecting off of what I observed when he was on the field. Mostly he played special teams. So, I mean, there's a handful of games where he was actually an edge rusher, minus preseason, of course. So, I mean, but listen, I agree with you, Mike, as far as just moving on from it and bringing young blood in. But, listen, we don't know who's available in free agency. We don't know what's going on with the draft. So, as of right now, just keep him on, and then we make our decisions later, in my opinion.
Okay. What about you, Nick? If Peter was in there instead of Marsh, do you think he would have finished with 5.5 sacks or no?
No, I'd probably say 3. 3, maybe 3.5. If that. Peter is still very raw, and you can see it. It looks like he's been kind of skipped over. Like Tony said, more of a special teams guy. Great dude. I mean, I want to see him play more because I think that he could get that opportunity to play and be able to be groomed. But going back to Marsh, I think Marsh is a good depth guy. In case something happens. And like I said, it really does, like Tony said too, it really depends on what we get in free agency, because if we get a vet and we draft a guy, there's really no room for Marsh. And if you can cut and save $4 million, then you're going to cut him and save $4 million. So it really depends. If we go out and get I've been watching more and more Trey Flowers, and I'm starting to fall in love with this guy. He does it. He pretty much does it all, and he's only 25 years old. So And he could possibly be something that we could get in free agency. So, but if we get a Trey Flowers and we draft a edge guy at number 2 as well, there's really no room for Marsh. So you're probably gonna keep Pita because of money wise, but it also depends on what the coaches see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how I feel about if Pita got those same snaps. I don't know. I don't know if he'd be able to get the same 5.5. I mean, my heart wants to tell me he would get more, and I also want to believe that we didn't have a defensive line coach that knew what he was looking at. I'm really wondering why they got rid of him so quickly. Just 2 seasons in. I'm talking about Scanina. I just don't know why they got rid of him so quickly. I'm wondering if he knew what he was looking at. We obviously saw that he had something against or didn't like Solomon Thomas. Maybe he didn't like Pita either, Maybe he got tired trying to say Tamopinu and was like, you know what, fuck it. If I don't start him, if I don't play him, I don't got to worry about saying his name. So I don't know. I don't know, man. But I would like to think he could have gotten those same sacks or more. But, he was the guy that was groomed and took personal tutelage underneath Elvis Dumervil. And what do we have to show for it? We never saw him do anything out there. So I don't know. But let's get back to the questions. I'm going to ask the questions in order that are on here. And like I said, I'm not personally going to respond to anything pertaining to college. If you guys want to touch on it, you can. If you want to skip it until later, then just let me know and we'll keep it moving. But we have which player, non-free agent or DeForest Buckner, is most worthy of a contract extension for the 49ers. So this is NY to the Bay on Twitter. He is asking about 49ers free agents for this season, and which one of them do you think are most worthy? That's not DeForest Buckner. Which one of them do you think are most worthy of being brought back or a contract extension? So I have that list here if you guys want me to run down it really quick. We have Earl Mitchell, Robbie Gould, Jimmy Ward, Kyle Nelson, our long snapper. Damn, he's going too. Jesus. Mike Person, Mark Nazaucha, Alfred Morris, Raheem Mostert, Anton Exum. I don't know why Julian Taylor is listed here. There's no way he's a free agent already. Tyvis Powell, Bradley Pinion, Greg Maben, and Elijah Lee. Now, those are free agents. Those are not guys who you can extend. You can extend guys who have 2 years left on their contract, 1 or 2 years left in their contract also. So if you guys can think of anyone else that you want to throw in that mix, feel free to do so. Did I say Bradley Pinion? Yeah, I see him. Okay, I did say Bradley Pinion. So Nick, you're off mute. You can take it first, man. Who are you bringing back if not named DeForest Buckner?
I got to bring Gold back, man. I know his age is up there, but I mean, you see kickers at 41 still doing it. If you look at percentage-wise, this guy's been, for his career, well, last year he was 97%. He was the highest for playing 16 games. You see so many crucial games come down to kickers anymore. So many. And I understand. And I'm going to say this right now. The only reason that I'm so big on bringing back Robbie Gould is because I have not seen this offense perform well in the red zone. The entire time Kyle Shanahan has been a coach. Robbie Gould has put this team on his back. And a lot of games that we could have lost. I watched I was watching, what game was it that I was just watching the other night? Chargers game. Richie James had a kickoff return, took it to the 50. We moved the ball to the 40, and then we got stopped, or I think maybe the 35. And Robbie Gould came out and kicked the 53-yard field goal. He was 7 for 7 on his last field goals from 50 yards plus. You don't see that from a lot of kickers. Until I see this red zone offense, our kicker is too valuable for us right now on this team. And to let a good kicker walk in this league right now, he is, I think, 10th in the league in being paid of what he makes. He makes $2.5 million a year. That's what he was making. If you can get this guy for 4 years, let's say 3 years at $15 million with like a 4th-year option and some guaranteed money. You got to do it. That'll make him the highest paid kicker right now is 4 average salary, because Cody Parkey's making $9 million a year guaranteed. He made. So, I forget his name, Gostowski or whatever his name is. He's the highest paid kicker in the league right now, and he's making on average, I think, $4.2 million a year on average. So if you pay Robbie Gould $5 million or $5.5 million a year for 3 years, a $17 million contract, he's gonna make the kicks. I mean, he had 1 kick block this year, 1 missed field goal, and from 0 to 30 yards, he was like 28 for 28. I think he missed 1 from 35 this year, which was a block kick. He had 2 missed field goals all year. I mean, it's just when it comes down to, and Robbie Gould has kicked well his entire career, no matter where he's at. Chicago's a hard place to kick. San Francisco's a hard place to kick. And he's just, I mean, he studies a lot of stuff. The wind, you heard him talk about all that stuff. But I just think kickers right now are too valuable. There's too many kickers losing games for people in crucial times. And I think it's just right now with our red zone offense the way it is, I think it's one of the crucial moves that we have to do.
All right. Very understandable. Tony, man, the floor is yours, bro. Who are you extending or who are you re-signing as a free agent?
Before I say my decision, I just want to say I agree with you 100%, Nick. But I just want to make sure Robbie Gould wants to be here because he wants to be a part of this and remain in his locker room rather than just collecting $5 million. Because there's a big controversy whether he wants to – his heart's in Chicago. He's in Chicago now. He was at the Chicago playoff game. I just want to make sure Robbie Gould wants to be in San Francisco. But you make very valid points. You're 100% right. Our red zone offense isn't where it should be, so you need a dependable kicker. But he hit 7 for 7 from 50 yards, but he also missed a couple extra points. So I just, Chicago cut him, the Giants cut him, then we picked him up on a 2-year, $2 million deal per, and he just flourished. And it's very important to have a good field goal kicker that knows how to kick in our stadium because, number one, he was the most accurate and successful kicker that ever played in our stadium since it's been open. And he's clutch. And you're 100% right. We need that right now. But I'm just going to, being that you said Gold, I'm going to go with somebody else. I'm going to go with Mike Person as the person I would like to bring back. Due to Weston Richburg's knee surgery, you have a veteran center. He backed up both guards and the center. So I'd bring him in just in case Weston isn't ready for training camp and OTAs and going forward. Nothing crazy. I'd give him a 2-year deal. I don't even know what he made last year. I think he made the veteran minimum. I'd give him a couple million to come back. The guy battled his ass off last year, played hurt. I don't even think he missed any snaps, but that would be my guy.
He missed a few because I was cheering for my guy Garnett when he came in. Not that I was cheering because of the injury, but I was cheering for Garnett when he got some playing time down the stretch there. But you're right, man. Mike Person earned a lot of my respect last year. I didn't think that he earned the start over Garnett, but he damn sure proved his worth, and he is worthy of a contract extension, as is Gold. I think Gold is kicking something ridiculous like 97% over the last 2 seasons or something like that. It's something crazy. He deserves to be the highest paid kicker in the league, and I don't know if the Niners are going to do that. My guy is not going to be a free agent. It's going to be someone that I want to extend to break up his big contract that he has this year. Someone that finally played a full season healthy, that showed his worth, in my opinion, and that's Eric Armstead. I think that the Niners should give him a contract. I don't like the idea of paying him $9 million next year, just for 1 year. I think that we can get, add some years to his contract and make it a little bit more team friendly than just the $9 million on him. But I'm not mad if we don't do that and we keep him at the $9 million, but Eric Armstead would be my guy. I would like to see him come back again with a legit pass rush and things like that. And, just to see what he can do. I think he did good against the run last year, and he was disruptive a couple of times. And it was finally good to see him be healthy. And then I want to really, really see what Kocurek can get out of him this year. Kocurek works really well with bigger offensive linemen, so I want to see what he can do with Eric Armstead. Nick, what's up? You want to jump in, man?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say what his stats were because he actually missed 2 extra points this year. But he was 33 out of 34, a 97.1 with a long of 53. Between 20 to 29 yards, he was 9 for 9. 30 to 39 yards, he was 13 for 13. 40 to 49 yards, he was 9 for 10. 50 plus, he was 2 for 2 this year. So his percentage on point after touchdowns was a 93.1, and his percentage overall field goals was a 97.1. So,
not bad at all.
Yeah, and looking at other statistics from other kickers, if you even look at his career from all his years in Chicago, his 1 year in with the Giants, and then San Francisco, he went from a 78, and every year his percentage started getting higher and higher. And there was 1 year that he was I think it was a 98%. But when you're talking 30 to 39 yards and you're 9 for 9, that's pretty much average field goal kicking. 30 to 39, 9 for 9. That's pretty damn good. The 2 extra points, he had 1 blocked and 1 missed. And
30 to 39 is an extra point now, right?
Yeah, I think it's 32 yards or something like that for the extra point now. So that's what I'm saying. Average, average field goal range. Even if you go 40 to 49, he was 9 for 10. He was 90%. So, and it also, he had one missed field goal, and that was, he was 100% all of his games except the 1 kick he tried to make in Arizona he missed. That was the only field goal he missed. He had 1 attempt and 1 miss in Arizona last year. Everything else, he was 100%.
So you guys got the answer there. NY to the Bay. That is Robbie Gold for Nick, Eric Armstead for me, and Tony's guy was Mike Person, offensive lineman. So I like that. We're all thinking about points here, except me. I'm going defense. Represent, you know what I'm saying? All right, another question here was from NY to the Bay, and again, I'm not going to touch on this. Which offensive prospect in this year's draft class would make the most impact in year 1? Either of you guys want to touch on that, or you want to save that for later, or what? Thumbs up, thumbs down if you want.
Wait, I didn't hear the question all the way. You broke up.
Which offensive prospect in this year's draft class would make the most impact in year 1?
Oh man. I
said we hold off because you don't know who's in our class.
Well, I think the question means anybody in this draft class. Who would you go after for offensive? Who would help in year 1? But who's that from?
NY to the Bay.
Yeah, I think we should pass on it because there's a couple good receivers that I can name, but I want Benny Snell Jr. Nobody talks about him, but I love that kid. But anyway, yeah, let's pass that.
All right, here's another one about the draft. It says this is from Dietrop Toff 94. Hakeem Butler is my wide receiver draft crush at the moment. Think he makes it to round 2. Again, I'm holding off on all draft talks. I don't know if you guys have an opinion on him or not.
Yeah, you have to wait to the combine. The combine speaks all and pretty much sets the board up for the whole draft.
Wide receivers and DBs especially.
Yeah, it's all like field work, speed test. How about this? After the combine, a couple weeks after the combine, send that question again.
Nick, you have a thought on it?
No, I don't really want to jump into too much draft talk because there's a lot that could happen from now till draft. So
okay. All right, now this is a good question here. This one is from oh man, his Twitter handle's cut off here. It is Samson Oxide. All right, this is a question that I liked a lot. It says, what's more important, getting top-tier talent or having the coaches and personnel to form guys into top-tier talent? So either of you guys want to take off with this one? I'm going to pop off the camera real quick, and I'll come back in and respond.
all right. Cool. That's a hard one because I think you need top-tier coaching talent to be able to coach players like a Bill Belichick type. You get him and he turns receivers and people like on his team into something that where you've never heard them. But then again, I think you need veteran tier 1 players to help those lower tier players along as well with coaching. So coaching only happens on the field. You need veterans on and off the field to help. So, I mean, that's a really tricky question, and it's a really good question. But if it were me, I think any good coach can turn any player into a really good player as long as he has the athletic ability to be that. So I'm going to have to go. I'd rather have a top-tier coach to be able to coach younger talent and turn them into something.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. That is a good question. Whoever sent that question in. But I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it really is a trick question, and it really is like a 50-50 question, because if you are a top tier coach and you are able to teach players how to become very successful because you are a top tier coach, that makes it easier for the general manager in the front office, because now you're taking guys like round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, round 7, undrafted free agents, and you're trading out of like top picks. You're moving down. Instead of having a top tier talent, you're going to the middle group, and your coaching is getting the best out of that middle group. So now your first 3 years, 4 years of those players' careers is you're not paying them big bucks. So that puts it easy on the general manager in the front office as far as salary cap implications. But I mean, that is a really freaking tricky question. But I'd rather have top tier coaching.
Okay. You know, when I first listened to this question, my answer was about, well, all right, who can you keep longer? Who do you get more out of? You know, top tier players, you can extend them over and over and over and over, or is it coaches? And coaches get plucked away so easily, man. But I'm gonna go with coaches. I've been talking a lot. There was a conversation in our group chat today, and it was elite talent, and I spun it to elite units. You know, if you look at that 2011 to 2014 49ers defense, right? Alden Smith wasn't elite without Justin Smith. Justin Smith was very disruptive, all pro, but a lot of people wouldn't call him elite at his position. He was the closest to elite on that defense we had, in my opinion. You look at, you know, Rodgers. What's his name? Craig Rodgers. Carlos Rodgers. You look at Carlos Rodgers. You look at Dante Whitner. You look at Deshaun Goldson. You look at Chris Culliver. You look at Parrish Cox. You look at Ray McDonald. You look at Ian Williams, right? You look at Ahmad Brooks. Those guys individually weren't elite talents, but that was an elite defense. And that's done by the coaches and the personnel, putting them in the right positions to play. And so that answered the question for me. You want the coaching staff to be able to make your units elite. That front seven that the 49ers had that year was nasty. You go anywhere, 2011 to 2014, nasty front seven, man. Nasty front seven. And those things are the things that excite me about football, is when you can build something that's sustainable. And good coaching does that. Good coaching does that. So I'm gonna chalk this one up to coaching. You see so many talented players year after year. Year after year. I mean, you look at guys come in the league and they're looked at as can't misses, and they flail out. We talk about Jamarcus Russell, one of the most physically talented quarterbacks. Hell, Colin Kaepernick, someone that 49er fans can relate to. Super talented as far as an athlete in his arm strength, the different platforms that he could throw from. He could run. He had nice size. He was durable. But, you can have the elite physical talent, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to put it all together. The coaching is what's really important. That's what drives it home. So go ahead, Nick.
Well, this goes back, and this question is actually perfect for what you basically said. You can look back before Jim Harbaugh was here, all those players were here. And then Jim Harbaugh came in and took us from a 4-win team to, I think, 13-3 his first year with the same talent. So that just shows you the difference in coaching right there, and how much more important coaching is, because coaches get the best out of their players. If you're a good coach, you're going to put players in position to succeed, excel, and get the best out of. So that's a perfect example right there with Jim Harbaugh. Is Jim Harbaugh didn't build that team. That team was already here. Jim Harbaugh just coached them to be a better team. Put that swag in them. Put that, that Tony Montana stuff in them. Like, they played together. That secondary was nowhere near as good as the stats show. It was because of the front seven that made them that good. So that just goes to show right there that you could bring in a top-tier coach. You could be the Browns at 1-15, and you bring in a great coach with the same talent. That great coach is going to make that 1-15 team probably an 8-win team his first year. None of us expected Jim Harbaugh to come in here and be a 13-3 team the next year. We all had hopes of it, but we didn't realistically think it was going to happen. But it did, because it was just coaching.
Bingo, man. Vic Fangio came in here and did his damn thing with the defense, man, and that is something that goes understated. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, we didn't have Alden Smith in 2010. That's true, but Alden Smith in his rookie year was a situational pass rusher. He wasn't an every down guy. Paris Harrelson had more snaps than Alden Smith did that year. So, it's things like that Nick, you hit it on the head right there. So give me coaching all day. But that is a really, really good question. In an ideal world, you want a good mix of both. That's how you really want it to break down. But if I got to choose one or the other, give me coaching. Give me someone that inspires and can put you in the right position to win. All right, we got 2 more questions, I think, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. It says, "Hey fam, with edge being the obvious first round need, what positions do we need to go after on day 2?" And you put linebacker and DB, maybe receiver. #AskNB9ers. Either one of you guys want to tackle this one first? You want me to take it? Tony, you're not on mute, so you go ahead. You go first, bro.
I go wide receiver, followed by linebacker and interior guard line. Guard.
Day 2, you get 2 picks. You got round 2 and 3 on day 2. So which one? Put them in order. I think this person's trying to ask the order of importance for us at the draft. So,
well, again, this is all pending free agency. Everything that we talk about is pending.
Let's answer the question as if we haven't done anything in free agency. The Niners went through free agency and didn't do anything with the team the way it currently stands. He says that the obvious need is edge. What's the second and third after that?
Wide receiver, linebacker.
You agree, Nick?
No. I don't think wide receiver is that high on our board because of the fact that I think we're trying to mend what we have here. But I do think wide receiver's in there, but it's not. I don't think it's second. I think if we get the edge guy, we're going to need a Sam linebacker. So we got to go linebacker in the second round probably. And then from the second round to the third, I'm probably gonna go. I'd probably switch his. I'd probably go wide receiver next. It for me, it'd be wide receiver or safety, like secondary help for depth.
Okay. All right. So your number 2 priority for sure is what?
Linebacker.
Linebacker. And then you're stuck between wide receiver or secondary.
Yes.
All right. So my top priority after edge is going to be corner, believe it or not. And I really like Ahkello Witherspoon. It's Richard Sherman I'm worried about, believe it or not. So I want us to get another corner. After corner is taken care of, I would like to see – you guys are going to kill me on this one. I would like to see the 49ers get a durable running back. I know that no one's talking about it, but we go through running backs like I go through boxers. And I shower a lot, guys. I don't reuse them at all. And the running backs, it's a revolving door here. I want to get a durable guy, man. I was watching Sony Michel. I was watching what they were doing with these guys, and just knowing that they're going to be out there. You know, C.J. Anderson. The Niners can't keep a running back healthy for more than 4 games in a row. Like it's not a thing that we do. I just want a durable. I know it's not a big need, but that's what I wouldn't be mad if we went after a running back in the 3rd round. I know we don't usually draft them that high. I know that we probably don't need to add one because we have a ton of guys who are going to be coming back. You know, we got Wilson, Mostert possibly getting a small time contract. We got Breida, we got McKinnon supposed to be coming. We got all these guys that are supposed to be coming back, but I want a durable running back coming in that I can depend on week in and week out, man. Breida, you can say that you don't think he's injury prone. He's not a guy. Listen, if you had to bet the Super Bowl on Matt Breida, would you do it? If you needed to, if you could say if Matt Breida is healthy the entire game of the Super Bowl, we're going to win. Would you bet on that game?
The way he runs, yeah.
No, you're not.
If you're guaranteeing me staying healthy,
right? Exactly.
Right.
I'm talking about you have to guarantee that he's forget the way we know how he runs. If you were going up to make a $1,000 bet on the Super Bowl, and the question is, does Matt Breida stay healthy the entire game? Are you betting on it or against?
Guarantees to stay healthy?
No. I'm asking you. Are you betting that he's going to stay healthy, or are you betting that he's going to miss plays?
I'm not betting on any running back to stay healthy.
On the 49ers, you're right.
But I'm definitely not betting on Matt Breida to stay healthy. And I love Matt Breida. Right.
That's my point, man. We have to get – I don't know if we need help. The strength and conditioning staff hasn't been addressed yet, and that's something, the medical staff, the strength and conditioning staff, they haven't been addressed yet, and we have to replace those guys. So maybe I'll feel better, by week 6 or so. But as of right now, man, I really, really want to get a dependable running back in the 49ers mix.
Mike, you got to go watch Benny Snell Jr., bro.
You're going to try to hype me up on him. I'm not doing it, man.
You got to go watch Benny Snell, and we could get him in the 3rd round, bro. He reminds me of Sony Michel. Like, literally, he catches the ball well out of the backfield. He's a bowling ball. He'll run you to hell over, and he's quick. And he plays for your
bowling ball. Wait. Nick wants a bowling ball running back?
Bro, it's not even like that. He's a powerful back plus speed plus agility.
He runs like
Marshawn
Lynch.
Huh?
He runs like Marshawn Lynch. He runs violent. He runs angry.
Bro, this kid is – and you could probably get him in the 3rd round, and he would fit Kyle Shanahan's system.
Welcome to the dark side. You want a power back, man. Yes.
Bro, I want Benny Snell Jr.
Got him.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go watch tape on this kid, man. He plays for Kentucky. Because when I was watching Josh Allen tape,
I know.
I'm like watching this dude like, holy shit. Like, I want him. I know we'll never take him, but whoever team he goes to, this kid is a violent runner. Like, oh. All right, my nipples are getting hard.
Oh my God. All right, that was a fun question. Let's try to wrap this thing up here. We're going on an hour and a half almost, so let's try to keep this under 2 hours so we can turn this into a podcast. All right. I got another one here. This one is from, oh God, I'm not going to try to say the actual Twitter handle. The name is Toneboat, Toneboat. It says, do you think the 49ers are right to use their territorial rights and deny the Raiders from playing the 2019 season at the San Francisco Giants Stadium?
Absolutely.
I wasn't finished the question, bro. Wait. In my opinion, oh, never mind. Yeah, go ahead. Never mind. He tells his answer here, but go ahead. So you think that they are right? They should do that. They should deny it.
Yes. Now think about it. How could you not deny it?
All right, hold on. Let me.
The 49ers are playing in Santa Clara. Oakland's going to play in San Francisco, probably 10 miles, 8 to 10 miles from where Candlestick Point was, where Candlestick Park was. That stadium is walking distance from the Fisherman Wharf in San Francisco. And you're going to have Oakland play there and call it a home game? Screw that. No way.
So you would rather than play at Levi?
They're not going to Levi. They're going back to the Coliseum.
No, they already said it. Look.
They're negotiating. The breaking news on Twitter. On my way home, I saw they're in negotiations to go back to the Coliseum.
I'm telling you, Levi's going to take them because of money.
They're not going to take them, bro.
It's not going to happen, Nick. I promise you it's not going to happen.
All right, so let me put it this way. If you had the choice of them playing in San Francisco or playing at Levi, what would you do?
Why do I have to choose that? That's fucked up.
I'm just asking, what would you do?
I would put them in Levi because that stadium was built for two teams. Just like MetLife is in New Jersey for the Giants and the Jets. So now if they go to Levi, that's money in Jed York's pocket, and it's not in San Francisco.
But I'm saying, okay, maybe I asked that wrong because I said this on Twitter the other day. I'd rather the team play in San Francisco as a fan. As a fan, I'm talking, not as an owner. As an owner, I'd rather than play at Levi because you're getting revenue than giving the Giants revenue. You're taking in the revenue. But as a fan, I'd rather than play at Giant Stadium, which has nothing to fucking do with us.
That's not true.
Bro, you're in San Francisco.
Yeah, look at everything that we're wearing right now. This SF right here, this is our, so we don't play here. This is our symbol, bro. I don't want to share this with the rate. Okay.
But this you're sharing with them at Levi. You're not sharing it with them in San Francisco.
They could call them Santa Clara Raiders.
They're not going to.
Why not?
They're not going to call them the San Francisco Raiders either. They're going to still be called Oakland.
For one season, I could bite the bullet and share Levi Stadium. I could for one season and make a boatload of money off of it.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're saying that as an owner. I'm saying as a fan. Do you really want their knucklehead asses in our stadium? Who knows what's going to happen in there? I'd rather than play somewhere that
played them last, right?
Huh?
They were in there when we played them last, the fans.
But that was when there was a bunch of Niner fans there. This is going to be with Oakland fans just doing whatever they want in our stadium.
Well, the Giants and Jets do it.
But it's not the same. We're talking about Oakland. We're talking about two different total fan bases.
Bro, do you know what would happen? God forbid if Oakland made it to the Super Bowl playing an AFC championship game in San Francisco. Do you know what that would be like?
But that's the thing. Like, as a fan, it's not like they're playing at Candlestick Park. They're playing at Pacific Bell, which was built in 2001.
But it's still in San Francisco, Nick.
Okay, but it doesn't have any. As a fan, why would you rather them be in your stadium that you play now, your home games in, compared to them playing at the Giants, which has nothing to do with it just because it's in San Francisco?
I get Nick's point. If I pay for PSL or if I pay for my tickets, my season ticket, I don't want a Raiders fan's ass in my chair.
Exactly. And they're not bothering us being in just because they're in San Francisco. They're playing in Giant at Pacific Bell or whatever it's called now. They're not playing in Candlestick. If Candlestick was still up and we were playing there, different story.
I'm not answering your question because it's a really good one. I don't have a which I prefer. I'm going to use my executive veto and avoid answering that question.
But I just don't understand it. Everybody's like, screw the Raiders, screw the Raiders.
No.
I don't want them playing San Francisco, but it's okay to play Levi.
No, it's not okay for either one. And if the 49ers hold their grounds, they can't play in either one because it's territorial. Territorial means Levi's and San Francisco. So that voids all of it.
I'm telling you, they're going back to the Coliseum.
I don't care where they go. I want the 49ers to make this as hard on them as possible. As hard on them as possible. I haven't looked at this chat all night long for anything, but someone said something in here really, really good. And this is why I want the 49ers to stick it to the Raiders even more. The rumor was that the 49ers made a better offer than what the Bears did for Khalil Mack, and they still refused it. They still refused it. F the Raiders, bro. You can't play in our city. Y'all, man, no.
Okay,
absolutely not.
So that's why I'm asking you, and I know this isn't the question. If the question was for a fan, would you rather them sit in your stadium and play or play somewhere in San Francisco?
I'd rather the 49ers invoke their territorial rights and they can't.
But that's not the question. I want you to answer the question. As a fan, where would you rather them play?
Technically, that could be an answer.
That is the answer. The territorial right thing, they can't play in either one. But if in Nick's hypothetical world, he wants an answer. I come back to me. I don't have an answer. I don't want them winning in San Francisco because we're San Francisco playing in Santa Clara and they're playing over there. I don't want them winning a single game in San Francisco and we're not playing there.
I don't understand why they wouldn't just go to the Coliseum. They're closer to the Coliseum.
They're going. They're in negotiations right now. I'm telling you, it was on Twitter. I saw.
Listen, your franchise wants to be so big and bad that they want to leave and jump up and not try to work things out with Oakland and all that stuff. And the mayor's going back and forth with you guys and all that. The mayor of San Francisco, by the way, said we don't want them playing here either. That's already come out as well. The mayor of San Francisco has said that also. But aside from that, you want to jump big and bad and you want to say, oh, we're going to build our own shit. We're out of here and all that stuff. Screw you. You should have had a plan. Think ahead. This isn't our problem. 49er fans shouldn't have to share the name. We shouldn't have to share our seats with them. None of that stuff. If I had to pick between the two, I want to do whatever's going to benefit the 49ers the most. And that's probably going to be sharing the stadium. That's probably going to – and look, most fans feel like the stadium is cursed anyway, so whatever. I say the stadium.
It'll be worse then.
Huh?
It'll be worse then. Bro, hold on. I'm going to take this back to you. What did you say when we went on the stadium tour and the Oakland Raiders signed on the wall? What did you say?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no. Wait, what did you say?
I don't know what you're talking about. For real, I don't remember.
When we were on the roof and it's the Oakland Raiders signed it with Oakland Raiders something, something, something. And what'd you say?
I don't remember what I said. I know what you're talking about. We were up there in the little garden area or on the roof, but I don't remember what I said though.
You basically said like them trash ass motherfuckers signing our stadium and they shouldn't even fucking be in here. Why is a Raider fan taking a tour in our stadium?
But yet
you're okay to let them play in your stadium because of territorial rights for San Francisco.
I'm going team first. What's going to benefit my team and my owner in his pockets? Listen, that money, that revenue is going to help us keep our coaching staff together. You want to leave, but wait, we can give you a raise because the Raiders paid for whatever. I'm thinking about the team. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet and do what's better for you, man.
Right. And as an owner, that's what I would do. I'm just saying, to me as a fan, I would be more hurt if they played in Levi and damaged Levi than I would them playing somewhere in San Francisco that has nothing to do with us other than the city.
Well, I'm glad
either way, I don't want them playing anywhere, San Francisco or Levi, but I'm saying as a fan.
And that's what the original question is. The original question is are the 49ers, do you think it's cool that they're invoking their right for the territorial thing? And I love it because that means that they cannot play in either one. This is our territory. You cannot play here. We're not sharing the name with you. F y'all, figure something else out. I love it. That's how it should be.
Well, would they be sharing the name? I don't know if they'd really like change their name, right?
But you have to change your name to the major city that's closest to you.
No,
So they're gonna change their name 2 years in a row from like Oakland or San Francisco Raiders to Las Vegas Raiders.
no, they're keeping their facility in Oakland, but they just need a stadium to play a game at. So they would just travel to, like, remember how the Niners used to travel from Santa Clara to Candlestick?
Keys are
It's going to be Oakland to Santa Clara.
That's a long ass trip. That's a lot of away games, bro.
I hate the Raiders. I hope they end up playing outside somewhere. Play in the streets with the
Somebody said let them play at our stadium. That way we can build a dome.
It's all right. The Niners are going to be back in San Francisco in 10 years, so don't worry about it.
All right. So I looked at all the questions that we had here, and those were mentions. Now I'm looking to make sure there weren't any quote tweets. Let me just double check here. They were all ats. Let me do one more check. I'm going to click the hashtag and make sure there wasn't another one. All right, so I don't see any quote tweets there. Let me click the hashtag. Let me go over the latest. And in light of the debate, BMW tweet. Oh, never mind. That's a promoted ad. My bad.
Yo, Gucci Boy said let them play at Alcatraz.
Seriously, man, get your asses on the island, bro.
Get over San Francisco.
Nah, man, you play over there. Play over there.
Just knock down Alcatraz and build an Oakland Stadium in the middle of the friggin'.
We got one more. Who are the Niners target on the first day of free agency? This is a really good question here. This is from my guy Delta Boy _662. Who will the Niners target on the first day of free agency? This will be our wrap up question here, and I think that can we change this and just give a position? It's going to be hard to come up with a name. We don't know who's going to get tagged. We don't know who's going to, you know what I mean?
It's kind of pointless. I mean, it's right around the corner, but when is that? March 13th?
I don't have the dates pulled up here. I don't want to lie. I can pull it up while we're talking though, but I'm not quite sure when NFL free agency starts.
Well, let's just try to keep it realistic then. We'll be realistic. Like, we know DeMarcus Lawrence is probably going to get tagged. D Ford will probably get tagged if you're saying edge.
See, I don't want to say that because we don't know for sure that these guys are going to get tagged. They might go into the team and be like, "Don't tag me. I'm not playing for you guys no matter what you do."
Right.
Because you tag them, you end up paying them, let's just say it's $17 million, right? You end up paying them $17 million. Those players can sit out, 6 or 7 games and then play the last 9 and still get that money.
But they're going to tag them to hold the rights to them. They can trade them. They can negotiate what they want in return. It doesn't necessarily mean 2 first-round picks or whatever.
Well, they have to transition tag them.
No, I think you could trade a franchise. But
you can trade both. One just costs more.
Because weren't they talking about franchising? What's his name? Who's the quarterback for the Eagles?
Yeah, Nick Foles. Yeah.
And then they were going to trade him for a third-round pick.
Trade him for a third. Yeah. All right. So the first day to start tagging guys is February 19th. The combine is February 26th to the 4th, and then March 5th is the end of the franchise tag deadline. March 11th to 13th, teams are allowed to negotiate. This is the tampering period, the legal tampering period. And then on the 13th is when the new league year starts, and that's when you can start signing guys.
Yeah.
So he asked a really good question. Who do you think the Niners go after on day 1 of the free agency period? And I can't give you a name, but I can give you a position. So I don't know if you guys want to do a position or if you want to try to name a specific name. You let me know what you want to do. You two decide amongst yourselves, and if you want a name, I'll pull up a name.
I say Earl Thomas because I know Seattle's not going to franchise him. I know he's going to be available.
All right, so we're going names. Okay.
But for edge, you don't know who's going to be available. I'm just saying Earl because Seattle, they're done. The bridge is burnt with them.
He literally gave him the finger as he was being carted off the field. He's not playing there, bro.
And that's why I said it. That's why, because you know damn well he's going to hit free agency. The only thing is, I don't think Dallas could sign him because they're not going to have the money to sign him. So if the Niners want him, go get him.
All right.
I think Dallas has $30 million.
That's without franchising him, and then you got to extend what, 3 players?
Mm-hmm.
So they can't.
I have to agree with you. I think Earl Thomas. I think San Francisco makes the most sense for Earl Thomas as a free agent.
I fucking hate that. Oh, I'm not on mute. My bad.
The only reason I say that is because his dislike of Seattle, and how do you say it, Tony? Familiarity.
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 I'm so damn tired right now.
I agree with Earl Thomas, but I think he makes the most sense for day one. But I'd like to see them go after Trey Flowers. Day one.
All right, so I don't think it's Earl Thomas. I don't think it's Trey Flowers. I think it's a corner. Ronald Darby from the Eagles. The guy tore his ACL in the middle of the season, and I would love to see the Niners go after him. I told you guys that corner is my day 2 need behind edge, obviously. And I think that if we can lock up a guy like Ronald Darby, that'll be some real Ahkello Witherspoon, Ronald Darby, Richard Sherman. That is some good depth in the secondary. That is.
What about Mo? What about Mo?
Mo Claiborne?
Come on, man.
I said this in another video. I like Mo Claiborne, but he's not a day 1 guy. He's talking specifically about day 1 guys.
You think Darby coming off an ACL is going to be a day 1 guy?
Yeah, he's too young to not be a day 1 guy, bro.
He's just small. He doesn't fit like the prototypical corner for this defense.
Listen, neither did Jimmy Ward. We moved Jimmy Ward all over that secondary.
Yeah, but Jimmy Ward played more safety than he did corner.
It's true. It's very true. I mean, I can't argue with that. But
I mean, Darby's a very good corner, but he's only what, 5'10", 5'11"?
Yeah, I mean, if not Darby on day 1, then Pierre Desir. Like one of those 2 guys on day 1.
And I like Darby. I don't want you to think that I'm shitting on that talk. You don't think Philly tries to signs him again?
I don't know. I think Philly might want him to go out there and say, you know what, your legs all busted up. No one's going to want you. And I think they end up being like, oh, man, never mind. The market's better for him than I thought it was.
Well, they don't really have a lot of money. They had $13 million.
And the fact that they're tagging Nick Foles.
Well, they have $13 million after they tagged him. So they tagged him. He bought it out for $2 million. And then he bought out – They signed they exercised his $20 million option. He bought out of that for $2 million. Then they gave him the $25 million for the tag, and now they're going to trade him. So after that $25 million, they have $13 million in cap space, and they have a ton of free agents.
Right. So then, what are they going to do? They're going to let go of their defensive line, or are they going to sign the guy coming off an ACL?
I'll take Derek Barnett.
He's not a free agent, bro.
I know he's not, but I'm just saying. I'll swoop in and get his ass.
So that's my guy, man. I really like Ronald Darby. I think he's a talented guy, and I think he would be the best number 2 corner in the league. But I think he's on the border of number 2, number 1 type of guy as far as talent goes. And so coming off the ACL, you can probably get him for a decent deal, and I would get him right away. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't let that linger because he's so young, 25 years old. You got to get him. You got Desir is 28, 29. And Mo Claiborne is around there also 28, 29. No, I think Claiborne's 29. He's not quite 30 yet. So, but Darby would be my guy.
I'll tell you what, there's one more other guy that I think really makes a lot of sense to the Niners, and he's young, and it's a position of need, is Shane Ray. You could probably get him really cheap. And
talking a lot about Shane Ray, man, all season.
He's a true possibility of becoming a Niner. And it's a position of need. Tony, would you take him?
Not as a day one guy.
Not as a well. I mean, what if we sign 10 guys on day one?
No, I don't think. I mean, he'll be your second wave player. He's gonna look around and see what he feels like the best like situation would be for him. Your day one guys are like the big shots, like you know. Let's just say DeMarcus Lawrence, if he gets free, the guys like that, Earl Thomas. One guy keep an eye on. Actually, two guys I will say I keep hearing their names a lot. Like on Twitter, is Barr from Minnesota and Mosley from the Ravens. But I think Mosley's probably going to be franchise tagged, or they're going to agree to a deal before he hits free agency. Another guy to watch from Denver, same team, Shaq Barrett as a Sam. That's someone to keep real close because that guy was handpicked by Gaze as I believe, an undrafted free agent or a late round pick. And, you know, look what we found in the late rounds with the Niners. So you might have a nice connection there between him and Adam Peters. I don't know if I said Gaze. I meant to say Peters.
That's a good one too, Barrett. I didn't even think about him.
Before the tags start, you have guys like Frank Clark, Jadeveon Clowney, Trey Flowers, D Ford, Lorenzo Alexander, Brandon Graham, Derek Morgan, Orakpo, Cameron Wake. Oh, I mean, there's guys that are out there, man. You know, Ziggy Ansah, you know, coming off of that injury and everything, but
Ndamukong Suh.
Terrell Suggs is going to be a free agent if you want to look at the really, really old guys like Clay Matthews. Julius Peppers already announced his retirement. Shaq Barrett, Dante Fowler, Matt Longacre. I don't know if you guys want to bring back Aaron Lynch, Shane Ray, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith. Those guys are out there and they're available. So
Phil Dawson, Andy Lee.
I was naming edge guy, like I was naming pass.
I know. I'm just saying. You know, Niner fans are with bringing people back. So,
yeah.
Oh, let's get rid of Golden. Bring back Dawson. Dawson was horrible this year.
Right.
I think he only played in 10 games.
So yeah, I mean those are things that I was looking at, but you know, I don't know. I would go corner. I definitely think I would go corner in the day one because that's what I think is more important than edge, or not more important. I think that's our second priority behind edge is corner.
Dante Johnson.
All right, guys, we want to thank you guys for checking us out here today, man. I had a lot of fun with you guys.
I was saying that because Ray, our Vizio said Dante Johnson.
You can't pay attention to Ray, bro. Ray calls me Mike Singletary. You cannot pay
He does, and that's why I love listening to his comments.
Yeah, you can't. Ray, I see you, man. Just because I don't say nothing, I see you, Ray. I see you, man.
It's funny.
Ray messing with me, bro. But yeah, no, I'm not. I wouldn't be mad at. I would be mad at Dante Johnson coming back. Honestly, I would. I gave him all the love I could, and he let me down. So he's got to go, man. He's got to go. All right. Anything else from you guys, man? Let's wrap this thing up, man. We are right at this 2-hour mark, so let's tear this thing down before it gets too far.
I'm good.
Good.
Good, Tony.
Good.
Good. All right, we're gonna have to do this again soon, man. We want to thank you guys for checking us out, man. Thanks for spending the time with us. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. All right, leave us some feedback on the podcast. All right, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Google Play. Guys, search for NB Niners, Nothing But Niners. Give us that 5-star rating. Type in some comments. We always appreciate the constructive criticism. We love all that stuff. Hit up the website, www.nothingbutniners.com. You can see the articles there from a bunch of great writers. We really appreciate you guys taking your time out, checking out the website. We're going to be upgrading that bad boy very soon. We got some surprises coming for you, some more apparel. We've always got the Dynasty shirts. Nick, hold one of those bad boys up over there in the background. I know you got one over there with you. We always have the apparel available. The Birth of the Dynasty shirts are there. We got the Stone Cold Kittle shirts also. I don't know if Nick has one of those or not, but we have those available as well. The Stone Cold Kittle shirts. You got one of those over there with you? Not in the room with you?
Not right next to me, no.
It's all good. Don't matter, man. But we got him, man. You guys have seen him.
You can see both of them on the website, nothingbutniners.com.
Make sure you check it out, man. All right. Hit us up on social media. We have the Nothing But 9 ERS. Nothing But 9 ERS. That is for the Twitter. That is for the Snapchat. We are on Facebook and Instagram as well as Nothing But Niners. I am 49ers Mike _NF. Nick is 49er Faithful 365. And Tony is NJ Niner Fan 449. I nailed that shit this week, baby. Let's go.
It's 499.
Let's go.
It's 499.
I didn't get it right again?
No.
I just pulled the hardball and threw all my papers. I give up, man. God, man, I was in a groove right there. Man. Hey, but listen, for all the people who are out there watching, man, we want to thank you guys. We appreciate you guys taking the time out and enjoying us. If you are into graphics, this is something else that we want to talk about too. We're going to expand the team a little bit this offseason, all right? If you want to be a part of Nothing But Niners, there's two things that we're looking for right now. We're looking for graphic guys. If you have ever played around with Photoshop, if you've ever designed pictures and things like that in your free time, let us know. Send us an email at nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. That's where you guys can reach us. Let us know that you're interested. We're also looking for some more writers, all right? We always want to bring on more people who are passionate. You know, you share the same passion that we do for this Nothing But Niners thing for the 49ers. This is the place that you want to be because we don't block you from writing whatever it is that your heart desires. And we provide you with some structure. We give you templates for things that we want you guys to do for us. So make sure you send us those emails at nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. You can send one personally to me. I am Mike at nothingbutniners.com. Nick has one, Nick at nothingbutniners.com. Our editors over there are Zach and Scott, both of them at nothingbutniners.com. We got the emails, guys. If you want to send us something, let us know that you're interested. We will love to review what you got and see if you want to work with us, man. All right. So we're always looking to grow the team. We want to be better this year. We're going to be better this year. We promise you guys. And as we head into this offseason, man, I'm damn excited. So I got nothing else. Nick is over there coughing up a lung. Tony, you got anything else for us, man? Tony's on mute also.
No. I'm off. No, just look forward to this offseason, building this team up, making a run for next year. You guys have questions, hit us up, Twitter, shoot the email. You can tweet me personally, tweet Nick, Mike. You know, we're looking to interact with the fans more this year, so reach out.
49ers Mike _NF, 49er Faithful 365, and NJ Niner Fan 499. All right, I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna get it one day. I'm gonna get it on my first take. I'm gonna get it on the first take though. All right, and if you guys have mailbag questions, you can type them anytime. You don't have to ask for them. Use the hashtag #AskNBNiners. We'll see it on Facebook. We'll see it on Twitter. Nick, man, take us home, baby. Let's get up out of here.
Guys, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and subscribe to all of our social media on nothingbutniners.com. You can find all those avenues. But thanks for joining, as always. And above all else, stay faithful. We out of here.